Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the Sports Counterpoints podcast. Today is January the 2nd, 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. This and for us guys, this is year 7, I
Something
think.
like that, yeah.
Something like that. We've been doing the show. So for our show the new year, man, let's get straight to it. We're talking college football playoffs and then NFL, and we'll get up out of here. So starting with Miami and the upset of O State. Miami wins 24-14, defeats Ohio State, which was really surprising to me. Cool. What's going on there?
So I thought Ohio State had the advantage on the perimeter in this game. They just have better receivers than Miami has DBs. But when you don't have time to throw and you look discombobulated as a quarterback, I guess that kind of negates that. But I did take Miami plus 10 on. I thought that was the right side. Plus 10 points was a lot because whenever Ohio State plays against a good defense, they don't really score many points. At Texas, they scored 10 or 14. Indiana, they scored 10, and against Miami, they only scored 14. So they kind of struggle against good defenses. But I was confident in the plus 10 because I didn't know that Ryan Day, their head coach, took over the play calling duties last week against Indiana, last game against Indiana and against Miami, because the offense coordinator is actually going to be the new coach at USF. I didn't know that. And also, there are a lot of Florida players on this Ohio State's team that Miami recruited. So it was almost kind of like a revenge spot type of thing. Like, you didn't want to come to Miami because you didn't believe in what we were building. You went to Ohio State. So that was that extra motivation. If you saw after the game, Jeremiah Smith, he's from Florida. He was shaking hands after the game with a lot of people from Miami because they all played in high school or against him in high school because he's from Florida. But last week I said Miami and Texas A&M, a lot of defensive talent on the field, man, a lot of NFL defensive talent, and it was on display this game. And ultimately, that's what helped Miami beat Ohio State, who came into the game averaging over 40 points a game. They have the best wide receiver in college football, the best safety in college football, and a really good defense as well. I think that quarterback, though, was the reason why they did not win. He's not really that good. He's very young. He's not really that athletic and doesn't really have a good arm. And he had 5 sacks this game, but he lost 42 yards, 48 yards on those sacks. He just kept going backwards and backwards. So he still needs a little bit more experience. I did not know he was from Carlsbad, California. I did not know that he played against Lincoln Prep in high school, and he only had 6 completions in that game, a very important game to go to the state championship or whatever. And he still was recruited by Alabama. I don't know, but on the Miami side, Carson Beck, you guys know I'm not really a big fan of his. These 2 games, he's only thrown for 241 yards on 46 attempts. Has 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, but the offense is very conservative, but they're winning, so I guess I can't complain. And we'll talk about the game against Mississippi later. But Brian, I don't know if you watched the game. You got any thoughts on it?
Did not watch this game. As a matter of fact, was surprised at the result because when I looked at it, it was Ohio State was up. And then the next time I saw it was the next morning, I saw that they had lost, or Ohio State had lost.
Yeah, so man, I didn't get to see it either, man. We was out moving and grooving for the new year.
Cool.
So
not a bad thing.
All right, so then your next game was we're just gonna go up then. We'll just stand in the same bracket. So then Ole Miss and Georgia, because Miami's gonna meet the winner of that game. Yeah. Ole Miss wins 39-34. That game was good. We didn't see that.
Yeah, we watched that one. That was an excellent game, hard fought. It went back and forth. At no point in time did I think Ole Miss was the better team. But they just kind of kept on plugging away. You got to give a lot of credit to the assistant coaches on Ole Miss who have all stayed there in spite of having new deals at LSU. We'll talk more about this next game, but the problem comes after because now it looks like they might not be coaching in next week's game because the portal opens and they're hosting a bunch of people at LSU. So it may be much ado about nothing. But yeah, this game was hard fought. It went back and forth numerous times. They were kind of going back, like score for the beginning, and then the best quarter of the game was probably the last quarter where there was 30 points scored. So it made it exciting down to the stretch. Other than that, the only thing it's more interesting what's going on behind the scenes with Ole Miss, and we can talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So. Yeah, best game by far. This game had big hits. I don't know if you saw that quarterback, Stockton. He got lit up and for Georgia. He was a quarterback, gunner, stunner, something like that. Stockton got lit up by Ole Miss and got back up. I couldn't believe it. But this game had big hits. Yeah. Multiple quarterbacks played. It was missed field goals. Teams were going for it on fourth downs. It was fumbles. There was a lot of drama. Looked like Georgia had this game after being up 21-12. And Georgia dominated the second half for the first time they played, and I thought maybe they found something. Mississippi battled back and won. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about this because the more drama, like Brian said, will be Ole Miss next week. Who coaches, who stays, and all that.
Okay, we'll get to that when we get to the next side or the next week. So then you have Alabama. Well, do Oregon, Texas Tech. Oregon wins 23-0.
That was the first game of the day, and it was horribly boring. We actually missed a good portion of it driving back to the house. But when we got there, the game was basically over. I think it was 20 by that point in time, 20 or 17 to nothing. And the other Texas Tech never had a chance. They never got in this game. But I only caught the very end of it, and quite honestly, I was watching it halfway because of how out of pocket it already was.
Coop, you watch it?
Yeah, I took Oregon on the money line this one. Look, Texas Tech brought their roster, but they didn't play anybody as good as Oregon in this game. So I was very confident that Oregon would win this game. I didn't think they would score nothing, but I was confident they would win. Plus, Oregon had the better coach and quarterback in this one. One player that's on a lot of people's mind is Dante Moore. I hope he goes back to college because I think he needs one more season. He's not really as athletic as I think I thought he would be, but I think he would be a better draft pick next year if he comes out. And plus, he probably won't have to go to the Jets. So he probably should stay in school this year.
You've got and then Alabama, Indiana. Indiana wins 38-3.
Yeah, we watched all of this game and was actually kind of excited to see it at the beginning. I mean, it was the whole stadium of red because both teams have red as their primary color. And then the game itself became, it was the first quarter was interesting, even looked a little bit competitive. It looked like it was going to be a defensive battle. Indiana got stopped on a couple of drives. And then Mendoza just kind of took it over and did what he does. And once he got going, it was pretty much a wrap. But he had 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. He only threw the ball 16 times. I didn't know that until just now. But this game was out of pocket real early. It was interesting to see Alabama get beat down like this. I'm glad it was a definitive win because I don't want to hear anything from any of the disgruntled Alabama fans about this, that, or the third. I mean, this was a very, very clear and decisive victory.
Cool.
Yeah, Alabama can't run the ball, and Indiana dismantled Alabama. Fernando Mendoza, I don't think he's a can't miss pick, but he's not bad, but he's pretty much a product of Indiana's defense and the system that he has. All he has to do is not mess it up, and he hasn't messed it up. Indiana is definitely the favorite to win this entire thing. They are loaded on both sides of the ball. They are the most complete team. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they're not a mid-major. They're not a Cinderella as much money as they paid for that roster. They got a good coach and good team, and they're the favorite to win this whole thing. So we'll see if they can beat Oregon.
All right. Yeah, let's stay with that. Oregon has Indiana January 9th at 4:30 p.m. PST.
I'll go first to get out of the way. This is Phil Knight's biggest dream, right? I mean, they're effectively playing the national championship game in the Peach Bowl next week because these are the two teams that are clearly better than everybody else. And if they are going to win the national championship, it's going to be by beating Indiana this week. I don't know that they can, but IU's only favored by 4, which is kind of a surprise. The Oregon Ducks have been very good all season long, so I wouldn't count them out of it. But you got to expect that IU is going to fall.
What you think, Coop?
Yeah, Oregon's not better than Miami. I'm sorry, this is not the best two teams, but Indiana beat them early this year because Oregon couldn't run against them. They averaged 1.7 yards a carry against Indiana, except for one run last time they played. If you can't run against Indiana, you don't have no chance to beat them. This is the time when you want Mike Tomlin to coach the team because he's an underdog and give you that rah-rah speech to help you win a game because Oregon's an underdog. I agree. This is Oregon's national championship right here. They have to beat Indiana. I just don't think they will. I just think Indiana's just more complete and will do the same thing they did the first game. So Indiana wins.
I'll be watching quarterbacks because I think one of them will be on the Raiders probably next year. All right, so then you got Ole Miss and Miami. Coop, what you got with your Miami boys, man? Can they make it to play a championship at home?
They're not even playing a game. Go ahead.
Contrast in styles. Ole Miss is going to want to play fast. Miami's going to do what they've been doing, grind it out, keep Ole Miss offense off the field. Ole Miss defense is still bad, and I'm still with the same saying. You're not going to win big games or championships with a defense that bad. Even if they got past Miami, they wouldn't win the next game. I don't think they will. I just think Miami is just going to get them. Their 5'11" quarterback from Ferris State University Division II has been playing really well. Great story. But if he runs like he did against Georgia, he's going to get blasted. So I'm taking Miami this game -3, and especially with Ole Miss staff, there's questions about if the staff is actually going to coach because they got to recruit, they got the transfer portal, and then some players might even opt out in this game for Ole Miss. I was saying as well. So with all this drama and turmoil and uncertainty, I'm taking Miami this game regardless.
Yeah. By the way, I hate to call you out. Actually, no, I don't. These two games kind of actually call into question what you were talking about last week. 3 of the 4 teams that are in the semifinals are not in the top 4, right? And quite honestly, and Miami, under any playoff format, would not have been there until it got extended recently. And you were saying that they were better than Oregon. Look, Miami gets a bye week this week. This is people can watch it and all that kind of stuff, but the coaches are almost certainly not going to play. That means that whoever is going to be calling the plays, calling the defense, leading the team is going to be someone who's doing it for the first time. I don't think the players will opt out. It's a pretty big deal, and they obviously think they have a puncher's chance. But this game, if the coaches aren't there, is irrelevant. It's almost sad. There was I can't remember the name of the quarterback, but one of the quarterbacks for Utah when they won the national championship many moons ago, or had an undefeated season, talked about how their coach, their coach who had left, already agreed. No, it was
Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to remember.
Alex Smith.
Urban Meyer had already signed his deal. All the assistants had already signed their deal, and Urban Meyer and the assistant coaches coached the team through the bowl game. The only difference is the playoffs is 4 games, and then it was 1 game for a national championship, but all of that. But Urban Meyer agreed, and the team agreed to do that. It's unfortunate that they couldn't figure that out because this is Ole Miss's one shot, and it kind of got thrown away because of the coaching. And they've done great so far, but if they don't have the assistant coaches, this game is not even a game. You're going to see that spread go from that's already at 3.5, and it's going to get all the way up into the 5s or more.
Utah didn't win a national championship, but they went undefeated. They beat Pittsburgh in the bowl game, and that's how Alex Smith got drafted #1. But yeah, you're right. There's only 1 game there now. It's more, so it's unfortunate.
All right. So let's slide to the NFL. Coop, you had a question. I'll let y'all answer that now. Who do you, if you had to pick a team right now to win the Super Bowl in the NFL, who would you pick?
I'm taking Jacksonville, even though their wide receivers lead the NFL in drops.
Interesting.
I would take Jacksonville, man. That defense is nasty. Yes, I don't trust Trevor Lawrence. I don't trust a lot of quarterbacks, but Liam Cohen has done his thing with them, just like he did with Baker Mayfield. I just like Jacksonville's defense, man. I just think they're an underdog Super Bowl contender in the AFC, and I think people are sleeping on them with Denver and New England. But Jacksonville is real, and at this point in time, I would take them.
Okay. B?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's a good answer, curveball answer. I'm going to go Seattle. I'm not at all convinced that any team is a runaway favorite in this one, but Seattle playing in the best division with 3 teams going to the playoffs, I think is battle tested. I mean, just being in their own division is battle testing them. And so as a result, I think whoever wins the division is the favorite right now. That's Seattle. I would lean Seattle.
Okay, interesting. So let's run through last week's games, and then we'll jump into this week. Focus on the games that mean something, meaning games that have playoff implications or seeding implications, etc. Other games we're going to skip over. So still going through scores. So you had Cowboys play the Commanders. Cowboys win 30-23. I would say skip unless you guys have something cool. Lions Vikings. Vikings win 23-10. This was important because that officially closed the door on the Lions.
And also put them in the bottom of the basement, which is, I think, the interesting part, because this same game last year was for the #1 seed, the division, and ultimately, a huge possibility of getting to the Super Bowl last year. The Vikings lost to the Rams the next week. Now they're both 8-8 with the Vikings having a better lead. The game itself was not incredibly great, but the Vikings show so much moxie and heart on defense. Brian Flores is a Minnesota treasure at this point in time. And he later came out and said he has no intention of leaving for a DC job elsewhere. That's either for the Lions or Dallas, both of which have been talked about. The way this could end up after this week, the Vikings could end up having a winning record, which we talked about at the beginning of the season. I said they could easily have a winning record and not make the playoffs because of how hard the start of their season was. But anyways, that's all that needs to be said. Lions are out.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard this, Brian, but Diana Rossini said that Brian Flores might get some head coaching interviews, which I was definitely surprised.
If he's not on the list for the Giants, there's a problem there.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying you should get it.
Right. Yeah, I got nothing to say about this game. We'll move on.
All right, so Broncos defeat the Chiefs 20-13, which is pretty much expected. Broncos stay where they're at. Texans win in LA 2016. That gets them into the playoffs. As the Texans side, the Chargers are still well in, but that was another loss. That was pretty much a playoff game for the Texans. What's your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I said last week this would be the Chargers letdown game. This was the second easiest bet of the week. There was no need to outthink this. The Texans defense playing against 3 backup offensive linemen, and the Texans secondary is better than the Chargers receivers. It was just a total mismatch. The Chargers, yes, they won 3 of their last 4 games, but they came against the Raiders, Chiefs, and Cowboys, and Jalen Hurts gave them 5 turnovers when they beat the Eagles. So Houston was clearly the better team, and they proved it. They pressured Justin Herbert 40% of his dropbacks. I mean, he really didn't have any time to throw. Good win for the Texans, but it was kind of expected, being that look at the rosters of each team. Brian, I don't know if you thought anything different.
No, the only thing I thought about this game is it's really nice to see the Texans, led by C.J. Stroud, to have a kind of a resurgent season. Obviously he fell way down after his rookie year, and it's cool to see him fight back. This was a well-fought game. Obviously the Chargers didn't get it done, and they're going to lick their wounds a little bit on this one.
Yeah, 8 in a row, I think it is for the Texans. All right, so then you had Ravens-Packers. Ravens win 41-24. Derrick Henry went nuts. And this keeps the Ravens alive.
Yep. What you got to say about that? Did you watch it?
We did watch. I did watch it. I don't have much to say. I mean, when you end up getting to a point where you're playing Clayton 2, I sent a text to a Green Bay fan. It's just take the L and go have a seat. But watching Derrick Henry, anytime he gets the rock, it's fun to watch. And because Lamar Jackson wasn't there, Derrick Henry finally got the rock, and he showed everybody what he can do. He made sure everyone was reminded that he's a 216-yard, 4-touchdown type of guy waiting to happen at any moment in time.
Yeah, the Ravens ran for 307 yards in the game. I mean, they're not losing anybody when they do that. And I think the Ravens kind of overcompensated giving Derrick Henry the ball because of the lack of carries for the previous week. But to me, what I was impressed with Green Bay, Malik Willis. I said last week, he's the story to Green Bay for me. I said he's what everybody told me Justin Fields was going to be. He's actually playing like it. Now, I did say he would need time because he ran a high school offense in college, but he's definitely got better. People had the nerve to talk about Mac Jones and Brock Purdy, who should start. I'm like, well, who should start over Malik Willis and Jordan Love? I mean, what does Jordan Love do? What has he done, team-wise, success-wise, to prove that he's whatever people seems to think he is? Because Malik Willis, this dude was killing. He ran for 60 yards, couple touchdowns, 18 for 21 for 288 yards. He's been killing the last couple of weeks before he went out with a shoulder injury. And I think he earned him some money next season. I don't know if Green Bay has him on the contract, but that guy has gotten a lot better. And I think for this Green Bay team, he's a better option than Jordan Love. I wouldn't put Love back out there if Willis is healthy, but that's just me.
Well, I'll certainly put Love out there because Jordan Love has a contract and it's huge. But I think Malik Willis has certainly earned an opportunity to compete for a job elsewhere next year.
Yeah.
Yep. So Cardinals-Bengals win 37-14. We'll skip past that. Steelers-Browns win 13-6. That kept the Ravens in it with the Steelers losing that game. So that did end up becoming important.
Yeah, Brian, what you got to say about your boy?
Oh, that he was horrible. So I did pay attention to this game. I mean, every single time this guy is on a game, people are like, "Oh, look how he won!" I'm like, wait a minute, they won because the Cleveland Brown defense was locked down. They won because, in spite of Shedeur Sanders' 2 interceptions, they were able to overcome that with defense. They did not win because Shedeur Sanders did anything noteworthy. But either there, congratulations to them. They played hard. They showed a lot of heart playing in this game because the Steelers absolutely wanted to lock this down and win. And the defense just overwhelmed really Rodgers. And I won't get into the Rodgers stuff. Go ahead, Coop.
Yeah, I got mocked by the Mike Tomlin crowd for betting on Cleveland. Those couple people know who they are. Haven't heard from them since because the Mike Tomlin crowd will continue to defend mediocrity because results don't matter. Last week they was all celebrating. No, you're not. I don't consider you part of that crowd. You're not a sickle fan. Okay.
No.
Last week everybody was celebrating what happened in Detroit. All they had to do was beat Cleveland. That's it, and the division was theirs. Shedeur gave him 2 interceptions. They did nothing. Shedeur tried to give him a third, but the linebacker dropped it, and they ended the game scoring 6 points. I mean, I wasn't stunned because I bet on Cleveland, but this is what Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh do. They always lose these type of games.
What did I tell you, though? When you asked me what kind of game I wanted, I said I wanted the Steelers to win for Mike Tomlin. I wanted Aaron Rodgers to play horrible because I don't like him. And I wanted Shedeur Sanders to show who he was. The only part of that didn't happen. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders showed who he was. Aaron Rodgers played horrible, and it ultimately cost the Steelers a game because the Browns defense looks really good. Anyways,
right. And like Glenn always says, well, I always say it too, quarterback wins aren't a stat, but they're putting that as a win in the Shedeur Sanders column. But he didn't do anything to deserve that. But last thing on this one, I'm just gonna say I saw a stat that last 5 games, Mike Tomlin has played a team with a record of 8 games or more under 500. He hasn't won all 5, which is actually kind of surprising. But anyway, let's move on. Let's go on.
All right, so keeping it moving, Saints beat the Titans 34-26. Jaguars beat the Colts 23-17. Jaguars keep rolling. Colts lose again.
Super Bowl team.
Yeah, they're rolling for sure. Buccaneers lose to the Dolphins 20-17. That was important because it keeps the door open for the Panthers and Buccaneers. I think they play this week.
And also, Glenn, Tampa Bay's 1-7 since their bye week. They have not been winning games, so it'll be interesting how me and Brian feel about their next game against Carolina. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be important that's a playoff spot, a home playoff game. Whoever wins it
with a losing record.
Yep.
How is that still
8-9? 8-9, right?
Never mind division. I wish. Patriots Jets. Patriots destroy the Jets 42-10. No surprise there. Seahawks Panthers. Seahawks win 27-10. Panthers I thought would show up a little better because they were going to need that game, but Seahawks are a better team.
Well, look here. When I tell you on a game that the money is already in everybody, just bet it because this was the easiest bet. I said the other game was second easiest. This was the easiest. Carolina does not match up against Seattle on no part of the field. Seattle is just better at every single position, and that's why Carolina was 1-for-11 on third downs, and Bryce Young threw for 54 yards on 24 attempts. I mean, Carolina should be in the market for a quarterback, and I like Bryce Young, but you can't do that. If you're going to, I like Bryce too, but 54 yards on 24 attempts and interception. This game was 27-10, but it really wasn't that close. Seattle pretty much dominated from the mid-second quarter on. I don't know if you watched it, Brian, or got any thoughts.
That Seahawks team is real, though.
Yeah. I've become a Seahawks fan of sorts for a couple of reasons. Not a primary fan, but yeah.
All right, and then the Toilet Bowl, Giants-Raiders. Giants win 34-10. That was the weirdest game for me to ever watch in my life because I didn't know if I wanted the guy to tackle. I didn't know if I wanted him to catch the pass. That felt really, really strange. But I think what I also thought, Coop, I was telling Brian when I was sitting with him, I, for some reason, was thinking like, I was thinking, well, they sat Max and this person good because they might win. And then I started watching the game. I was like, I forgot how bad this team was. They wasn't going to win if Max played. Just don't let him get hurt. You know what I mean? Let's make sure we got our guys for next year and do something with the pick. So Raiders lose again. And then, so we'll keep moving from there. Eagles-Bills, that game was actually entertaining. It was low scoring, defensive, but fun. Eagles win 13-12. And the Bills had a chance, though. What'd y'all think of that one?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was all that entertaining, to be honest, but it was
It's fun at the end.
It was fun at the end, but two good teams that played kind of mediocre football for most of the game. And then, Buffalo tried to make a valiant effort to come back. I don't understand why he went for it. They had all the momentum. They scored all their points in the fourth quarter. They had held Philadelphia to blank in the second half. If you wanted to win that game, which ultimately didn't make or break their season, so some element of let's just get off the field and be healthy.
Exactly.
But at the same time, if you want to win that game, it would have been pretty easy to go bring that game into overtime because Philly had shown nothing in that second half.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Philly clearly has the better team in this game. They have a lot of talent. They got their $50 million quarterback, two $25 million wide receivers, their $20 million running back, and they can't generate offense. That's just so surprising to me. Buffalo, I agree. Should have kicked them. They held Philadelphia to 17 yards of offense in the entire second half. That's under 20 yards of offense in the entire second half, and they wanted to go for two. Yes, it was there, and it was a pass usually Josh Allen makes. But definitely take that to overtime, man, and just go ahead and try to, win it there. But yeah, that's all I got to say. They lost. They shouldn't have.
I get like Brian said that their seeding was their seeding. You win it, you don't. Let's go home and go get some rest. So I get it. All right, and then Bears Niners, man, that was a good dang game too. 38-42, Niners win. What you think about it?
I disagree. It wasn't a good game, but look,
Caleb Williams entertaining for sure.
Entertaining,
and we had Bears fans and Niner fans who was watching with.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. Caleb Williams had his best game as a professional quarterback, but a lot of quarterbacks have over the last few weeks. The defense sucked because you ain't got to worry about getting sacked when you play the 49ers. Opposing quarterbacks have a passer rating of 101. Look, the Bears came into this game 7-0 when not committing a turnover. They didn't commit one in this game, and they lost for the first time all season, which is surprising because, 49ers really don't generate turnovers. Brock Purdy, got to put up points when he does. 49ers, we're pretty much the Cincinnati Bengals of last year. We have to put up points to win. If we don't, we're going to lose. I did find an interesting stat, though. All 49 quarterbacks have, when targeting Jawan Jennings, have thrown 8 interceptions. So I would say only throw to him when this guy is wide open, because when he can't create separation, when he has a defender near him, there'll be an interception. I think that's what happened when he threw the pick six or whatever. But in this game, no Kittle. Yeah, I got scared. No Trent Williams, only played one down after the pick six, and that was it. No Ayuk all season, and McCaffrey now has a back issue. Starting slot corner. He has a concussion, and our safeties can't cover anybody. You guys saw that, and Brock still got it done. I don't know how him and Shanahan did it, but they did.
2 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing is how he did it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't heard anybody say recently he doesn't play under adversity or whatever, because everybody's conveniently ignoring the 49ers defense has been trashed since week 6. But I know this is not ideal for a championship run. So the fact that they have a chance to get number 1 seed is actually, amazing. But, I like that Brock is being aggressive. He knows what we have. He knows what we have to do. He's going to throw some picks by doing it. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And then Caleb Williams, man, he's just he missed. I think Chicago really should have won this game. He missed some guys. And there was a guy that pretty much DJ Moore wide open that last play of the game that he didn't see on the other side of the field. But there were other wide open like Colson Loveland. He would have had like a 20, 30-yard touchdown early in the game. I think it was the third quarter. He missed him too. So, I mean, the Bears should have won this game. Me, like every other Niner fan, thought this game was going to be over. Just a matter of when Chicago was going to score, and they ended up didn't. So I was actually shocked that they won this game. But I don't think any more or less of either team after this game. I kind of know what both of these teams are. But I still don't think Chicago's going to win another game the rest of the season, though. Brian, what you think about it?
Yeah, I won't get into it. I thought I will. Again, this is the second week in a row. I have to acknowledge that Brock Purdy played very, very well in a game. I wouldn't call it adversity because it wasn't the world's most important game. But at the same time, he won and he played really well. 5 touchdowns is nothing to win set.
Definitely. All right, so let's and the last game, Rams Falcons, another good game score wise. I'm sure it was entertaining in the second half also. Rams end up losing, 24-27 to the Falcons.
I'll just make this quick. Bijan Robinson, as his coach has been saying all season, is the best player in the NFL right now. Watching him run, Glenn and I were just almost aghast at how hard he runs consistently, how fast he is once he gets into space, and how linebackers want to get out of his way and try and arm tackle him because they do not want to take that heat. He is a difference maker that any team will look a lot better with him. I mean, the Falcons are not good, and if he were not on the field, I do not think they could have done anything else because there would be no reason for it. And I think Tyler Aguirre is a solid running back, and I didn't necessarily understand why they picked Robinson when they had him, but man, is he incredible.
Even if they wanted, linebacker wanted to tackle him, they get shook. And
ran over.
Matt Stafford helped him with a few picks too.
Yeah, he was pretty wrong.
Yeah. I've said it multiple times this season. Bijan Robinson was the best player on the field, and he was again. I mean, he's a talent. I think one thing though people aren't talking about is Atlanta kind of looks better with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. The Rams, they've lost. The Rams have lost 3 of their last 5 games, and all their losses have been 1-score games. So this team is very Matt Stafford dependent. When he struggles or throws interceptions, they lose. So I think that's something to look at towards the playoffs. But good win for Atlanta, I guess. But I don't think it affects the Rams that much.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at this upcoming week, and again, we'll talk about everything, but only focus on games that have any real meaning, right? So Panthers at Bucks.
Both the games on Saturday are a big deal.
Yeah. So both games Saturday. It's Tampa -3 right now. Panthers at the Buccaneers. Who y'all got?
Right.
B.
Oh, you. I'm gonna go. I haven't really looked at it too closely. I'm gonna go with the Buck. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Bryce Young. I'm picking a quarterback here. Baker Mayfield. Yeah. I'm looking at it here. He's got 3,500 yards. Bryce Young's got 2,700 yards. He couldn't get any yardage in the last game. Mayfield has a history of finding ways to win in the big moment. It's a home game. I don't see why the Buccaneers can't get over the hump here and go into the playoffs with a home game and a losing record.
Yeah,
Carolina is 7-0 against the spread after a loss. No team has ever won 8-0 in history. Baker Mayfield at home, though, as a favorite, is 2-12 against the spread, and overall, he's the second worst in NFL history at home as a favorite. Jay Cutler's the worst. And despite all that, I'm going with what you said, Brian. I'm going with Tampa Bay.
All right.
To pull it out.
So this game, you're obviously going first, Coop. Seattle Seahawks at San Francisco 49ers of Santa Clara. Are you going to this game?
No, I'm not. I won't be disappointed.
Okay.
I still can't.
Seattle's -2.5 in Santa Clara.
Yeah, it was Frisco -1 and then moved in Seattle. Look, Bosa's been gone 14 games, Warner 11, Kittle 6, and we're at this point. Look, Brock Purdy 6-1 against Seattle. He usually plays well against them, even though Seattle has a defensive advantage. 49ers are at home. It's a huge game. It's probably their Super Bowl, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm going to take San Francisco at home.
Yeah, they have to win.
Yeah, I'm going to take Seattle. I think they're the better team playing better football right now, although this being a home game and Brock Purdy being on a heater for the last couple of weeks is absolutely an X factor. I'm still going to stick with the Seahawks.
Yeah, and I think to beat Darnold, don't you need to get some pressure on him though?
Yes, you can absolutely shake him up with pressure, and there is going to be. But it's going to. This being a home game does add an X factor because the 49ers seem to play a little bit better when they're home. More importantly, I think the Seahawks play a little less together when they're not.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, this would be a game that Niners win, and Niner fans are like, we're ready for the Super Bowl. Seahawks fans are like, this is terrible, and it's when it flips. Wow. Yeah, sometimes losses late in the season like that can be big. Saints Falcons. Just pick a team. It's Atlanta -3.5.
Falcons.
All right. Browns Bengals -7.5. Just pick a team.
Cincinnati.
Bengals.
All right. Packers Vikings. Minnesota's -9.5. Wow.
Yeah, the Packers are not going to play anyone at all in this game, and that's the reason why the Vikings are going to finish the season
with the winning record.
With a winning record. And they're going to finish with basically the same record as the Packers. The tie, which felt like kissing cousins at the beginning of the season, is going to be the only difference between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs.
Crazy. Cool.
Yeah. Green Bay's already in. They just signed Desmond Ridder to the practice squad. He might end up playing. So, I'm picking Minnesota.
Easy. Cowboys, Giants, pick a team. Dallas is -3.5.
Come on now. Dak against bad
Cowboys,
teams. This is spot. Cowboys all day.
Yeah.
All right.
We get to listen to Cowboys fans next season because he's going to score. He scored 4 touchdowns.
Right. Titans, Jaguars. Jaguars are -13.5.
Now, the only question here is whether or not they win by 13.5. Jaguars are absolutely winning this game, and I'm going to say they will win by 13.5. unless they shut it down when they're up by 13.
I'm wondering, is it worth? Does
Yeah,
it affect their seeding?
I think they're going to.
I just think the Titans are that bad.
Oh, the Jags have to win, huh?
They,
Because the Titans are right behind them. Texans are right behind them.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're going to win.
So
it's just a matter of whether they win by 13 or 14.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, Jacksonville has to win to make my prediction and winning the division right. So yeah, they're going to win this game.
They're going to win. Yeah, they got to win. You want that. Okay. Colts, Texans. Texans are -10.
Yeah, the Texans are going to boat race this team. I don't even know who's going to play for the Colts, but Texans are going to win this game.
Texans need to win again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Indianapolis passed their win total week 10 and haven't won since. Riley Leonard, guy from Notre Dame, is going to start. I'm taking Houston.
All right. Jets, Bills. Bills -7.5.
Bills.
Yeah. Lions, Bears. Yep. Lions, Bears. Chicago's -3.
Chicago wants to win this game because they're still, so anyways, Bears.
I'm taking the Lions because I can't see Matt Campbell's team giving up on a game. I just don't think that's his mentality. I think I got Detroit.
I'm not saying they're going to give up. That's why the spread's only 3 in a game that has almost no meaning. It's the only one. Every other one is like 13-9, So
you'd still like
right.
division rival.
And plus, I don't think Chicago's going to win another game. I think they're done.
Yeah, Chargers, Broncos. I think we saw Herbert's out. I think they're resting him.
Yeah, Trey Lance is starting. That's why the spread's 13.
13.5.
Yeah.
Again, this is another one. It's just a matter of whether they win and shut it down and win by 13, or keep playing and win by 14 or more. I'm gonna take the Chargers to not lose by more than 13, mainly because at home, if Denver gets a hefty lead, let's say this game is 14-0, they're going to pull players because they don't want to get hurt in cold weather right before the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's smart to play Herbert.
I think this game's for the number 1 seed. If Denver loses and New England wins, New England's number 1 seed. If Denver wins, they get it. So I think Denver wins, but Bo Nix is 2-9 against the spread as a favorite. He's terrible, so I'm taking the Chargers to cover the spread.
Yeah. Chiefs, Raiders. It's Chiefs -5.5. They better win by at least that many.
I mean, both of them don't. The only reason why this game is even going to be relevant in any way, shape, or form is that most people suspect this is Kelsey's last game. So, anyways, the Chiefs will win. They're going to just pass the ball to Kelsey as many times. He's going to get 10, 15 looks here. There's no one cares about whether they win the game or not. It's all about, can we, get Kelsey? And I'm going to guess that they're going to be some type of, hey, no double teaming him. You got to play him with a linebacker handshake agreement before the game between the two coaches so that he can have his moment.
All right.
Yeah, I think Kansas City is going to let the Raiders win. I don't see any advantage for Kansas City winning this game. They already have a higher draft pick than usual. They're going to do everything they can, probably to get Kelsey involved, but to try to make the Raiders win. They mess up the draft pick.
Last week, I'd have been like, oh, we could win. Now I realize how bad this team is. You couldn't. Unless they're going to let me run the plays. But there ain't no way. Cardinals, Rams. Yeah, no, don't pick a team. Rams -8.5.
Yeah, Rams.
Oh, Rams, yeah.
Yeah. Dolphins, Patriots. Patriots need to win, and you need the Dolphins to lose. What a perfect storm for the final game.
Right. I need New England to win, and they're playing the same time as Denver, so there'll be no scoreboard watching. But another thing I don't think people are understanding is there's a Drake May for MVP type of campaign going on. So New England is going to go all out for this game and try to get Drake May the MVP award. So I'm feeling pretty confident that Miami won't get this win, so I'm taking New England.
Yep. After the last couple of weeks that Stafford's had, there's some strength to that argument. Anyways, Patriots easily.
Yep. Then you got Commanders, Eagles, Philly -4.5.
Washington.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you took Washington.
I got Washington.
I took the Eagles.
Yeah, why not, right? And then last game, Ravens, Steelers, which is important because that's the division for them. It is Baltimore -4.5.
Well, I mean, wait a minute before you pick, Bryant. I'm not sure if Jackson is playing. Could be Tyler Huntley. That hasn't been confirmed yet.
I know. I was just trying to look it up.
Now the report I saw said Lamar saying I'm going to play.
That's right. I saw that. It's in it. Yeah. Anyways,
you got.
This is actually tough for me because I'm obviously like Tomlin and wouldn't mind seeing him sneak into the playoffs. I think that Harbaugh has learned his lesson, and it doesn't matter which quarterback is starting, you're going to get a super heavy dose of Derrick Henry. I think that's enough to win.
100%.
Yeah, look, I can't believe we're on the same page on this one. I thought you'd be on the other side. But yeah, look, the only reason Steelers are in this position is because Lamar and Burrow have been hurt half the season. That's the only reason they're in this position. I'm with you. I don't care who's starting at quarterback, Huntley or Jackson. I'm taking Baltimore in this game to win.
Yep. All right. So that's our topics. Let's do our last few segments, and we up out of here. Game ball, Coop.
Yeah, I'm gonna give out two. One's for Max Crosby, for wanting to play in the Raiders game, but the Raiders Giants game, but they shut him down. But for coming out and saying that he doesn't care about draft picks, and the reason why people don't understand he's saying this is because Crosby was taken in the fourth round of a draft, and that year the Raiders had 3 first-round picks, and 2 of them were bums, Cleveland Farrell and Jonathan Abram. So he knows draft picks don't mean anything if you pick wrong. So in reality, doesn't matter if you don't have a quarterback, but I applaud him for actually coming out and saying that. And my second game ball is going to the Giants because a report came out saying that they will draft Mendoza #1 if they got the #1 pick and get rid of Jackson Dart, which is smart because I've always said when you're bad, everything needs to be on the table. You can't have this one guy making $150 million and your whole roster sucks because it doesn't mean anything. So everything has to be on the table. And the fact that they're willing to get rid of Jackson Dart, that shows that, look, they're putting everything on the table and trying to get better. So I applaud them for that, even though I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's the Raiders pick. But those are my game balls.
B.
I'm only going to give out one. It's the same guy for the second week. And yeah, I don't believe in doing it either. But it's Brock Purdy. I mean, 5 touchdowns in a game that was hugely important, possibly for the #1 seed. He showed up, showed out, and, respect where respect's due.
Word. Mine, let's give them to you, B, for a new chapter, new things coming up. We'll see you in the bay. All right. And then hogwash. What's hogwash in the world of sports? B?
Yeah. Ole Miss and their inability to go and work out a deal at the beginning of the playoffs to get the coaches to bring them there. They have their one shining moment, to use NCAA basketball nomenclature, and they're about to just watch it go down the drain. It's unlikely that we will see another opportunity for Ole Miss to be in this position, one game out of the national championship, and they're going to go into it half-hearted because they couldn't figure out a coaching situation. That's ridiculous.
Definitely. Cool.
Yeah, my hogwash is everybody who last year crowned Jaden Daniels the king of the quarterback draft. The reason why I have perspective on quarterbacks. I like to let things bake for more than like 8 games with Jordan Love. Everybody said if you did a redraft, Jaden Daniels is definitely going #1. But what happened this year? Caleb is killing it with Ben Johnson. Drake May might win the MVP, and nobody's talking about Jaden Daniels. What I always say is, why don't you wait more than a year or two before you make a definitive decision on the quarterback? Because right now, Jaden Daniels is hurt, and he wasn't playing well when he came back. And right now, Caleb Williams and Drake May have surpassed him. So if you were to do a redraft, he would probably not go #1 considering his injury. So that's all I'm saying.
Do you actually say wait more than 1 year before making a definitive decision? Because I've heard a lot
Always.
of first and second week decisions.
Oh, tell me what.
Shedeur Sanders, how's that? You've made a definitive decision on him.
Yeah,
there you go.
He sucks. Oh yeah, he's terrible. But I don't make definitive decisions on who's great right after one season of football.
I don't think anyone said he was great, but I do think he was better than Caleb last year.
He was, but actually, yeah, you're right. Yep.
My hogwash goes to Sacramento Kings, just because I got a lot of friends that are Kings fans, and they continually put them through pain. As a Raider fan, I know what it looks like. Bad drafts, get a good draft, get a good guy, let him go, have a good coach, fire him. Whatever they can do to build a team, they don't. Then they often get aging veterans, which looks like to try and sell tickets. Created the whole Chicago Bulls on the West Coast. That didn't work. Fire the coach after he wins Coach of the Year. Just get it together, man. I just feel bad for Kings fans because some of the most loyal fans in sports still going to games and never giving them much to cheer about. Minute to win it. Happy New Year to everybody. Have a great 2026. We appreciate y'all checking us out in year 7, I believe. What y'all got?
Brian closes it out, so I'll go with Notre Dame football. Look, it doesn't behoove anybody to schedule Notre Dame. I'm mad that USC actually agreed to play them next year. They have just a massive advantage because they can make their own schedule and they refuse to join the conference. The last time Notre Dame made the national championship game, they played Army, Navy, and Air Force in the same damn season, which is a joke. The money they make, they're going to make money regardless of the situation. And now with this new rule that if they're in the top 12 in the college football playoff rankings, they automatically get in the playoff is BS. They don't have to play good teams while everybody else, while USC and all these other teams have to play, a real schedule. Notre Dame can have these side deals and do some nonsense to make money and not play real teams. And on top of that, they only play 5 games against ACC teams. And we all know that the ACC is not that good. So I'm mad that USC actually agreed to play them because Notre Dame would just put a bye week in front of them, in front of the USC game, and it gives them an advantage where USC have to play real teams. So I wouldn't want to play Notre Dame. It's BS that they get this break. They can make their own schedule. They need to join a damn conference. And I'm still pissed off that USC agreed to play them next year. But that's my minute to win it.
Okay.
Well, Happy New Year to everyone. As I have not been bashful about saying 2025 was the worst year of my life, so I'm really looking forward to 2026. That's better. And different in so many different ways. So, my minute to win goes to say thank you to all the people that I've worked with for the last 9 years at my previous job. Today literally was my last day at the place that I've been working at for the last 9 years, and I start a new gig on Monday. So, thanks to all of them.
Definitely appreciate y'all listening to Sports Counterpoints. First show January 2026, January 2nd. We will catch y'all next time. Peace.